Hi everyone, welcome back for my second project for Kitaholic Kits for the month of April. I am going to do a 12 by 12 layout today, and as you might see, there is a lot of reading and book themed icons in this month's kit, and that is because it's largely made up of the I think it's My Story by Simple Stories. And so that really inspired me to do a layout all about my favorite books that I read in 2022. So a while ago, I actually made a list of my top 10 favorite books from 2022. And I was just kind of keeping it a back burner for if I ever wanted to do a layout. And today, when I opened up this kit, well, it's not today that I open it up, but when I open up this kit, I realized, oh my goodness, this is the perfect time to tell this story of my top 10 favorite books. So I grabbed the 10 favorite books that I read this month, in 2022, and I stacked them all up and I took a photo and I printed it out. And so it was one of those instances where it's really the kit really inspired the photo rather than using the photos as a starting off point. So anyway, as I'm working, I printed the photo out quite large because I really just wanted all the books to be quite legible. And then I'm going to go through, and essentially this layout is going to be, I'm going to take all of these tags and add some twine to the tags. All of the tags except for one is going to be kind of sticking out the right-hand side of the photo. And I've seen Leilani Scraps do this a lot, so that's actually what inspired this particular layout. I've seen her take these tags and stick it out the side. But then one of the tags is going to be where that one's actually going to be able to be moved out, and that's going to be where my journaling is going to go. So I'm just going through the tedious task of cutting it all out, punching all the holes, putting in all the twine and so forth. I thought it was just a little bit too much white space, so I'm just doing a very faint mixed media background, but I'm not pressing hard and I'm not using much product. I'm using salvaged patina from, I'm pretty sure I use that one, and that's the Distressed Oxide, and that is actually a really good match to the minty blue color that came in this kit. I'm propping up my photo on some foam tape, and you'll see I'm going to just make sure that I've got room to slide that tag in and out. And yeah, then I'm just going to kind of get started on the layout. While I do that, I thought I would talk to you about the books that I read last year. So last year I read in excess of 60 books. I'm not exactly sure 100% how many books I completed, but on Goodreads, if you start a book but don't finish it, then that book is classified as on your read pile. Now, there was maybe like 4 or 5 books last year where I read most of the book and I just stopped reading it because I didn't particularly like it. So for that reason, I am not exactly sure how many books I read, but I read close to 60. And of those 60, these were my favorite 10. I do touch on this a little bit in the journaling, but they're not in order of like top favorite to least favorite. My most favorite book that I read last year is definitely The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And the book, I think, on that list that has the most beautiful writing is probably The Starless Sea. Although Plain Bad Heroines has got amazing, beautiful writing, and so does Strange the Dreamer. So I don't know which one's got the most amazing writing, but I think it's probably The Starless Sea. And of the 10 books that are my favorite, only one of them was nonfiction, and that was Hannah Gadsby's memoir, 10 Steps to Nanette. And most of these books, although all but 2 books are queer books or sapphic. I think there's 2 that features a gay relationship, and the rest, but the 2 ones that don't have a romance subplot, are sapphic. And then Strange the Dreamer does have a romance subplot, but that is a straight romance. And Vespertine doesn't really have a romance at all, because romance isn't really my favorite thing to read. But the only romance that I really enjoyed reading last year is She Gets the Girl, which is the one that's second to the top. I do love talking about books. It's like one of my favorite topics because I read a lot. And this year, my aim was to read 30 books, and I've already done 25 so far this year. So I think I might succeed in my goal of 30 books. My hope is actually to beat what I read last year. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, all of these books are just amazing. They made me feel something. They made me just happy or sad or devastated. I know at least a few of them made me cry, like broke my heart completely. Most of them made me feel happy. I am back to the layout. Now that I've got all my little tag situations sorted, I'm just going to start adding some embellishments. So I'm adding some of these little puffy titles to the top and the bottom, and then I'm going in with the stickers, the floral stickers, to create a flower cluster down the top and the bottom as well. So I'm also going to dig into the little floral bits ephemera pack as well to create those flower clusters. I realized afterwards that I really wanted to add that book stack that's in the top right-hand corner of the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. So I don't originally add it, but then I realized I was like, oh yeah, I was meant to add this. And so down the track, I do add that down the bottom right as well. So tell me in the comments below, what was your favorite book or books, plural, that you read in 2022? Are you a big reader? Do you enjoy reading? I love to talk about reading, and I love to talk about books and my favorite themes and what I enjoy in stories and all that. So yeah, drop down the comment what your favorite book was and why, and yeah, we can have a chat about that. Also, I do apologize. You can see my lunch in at the corner there. I didn't realize it was on screen. I was so hungry when I was filming this. I was like trying to get this done, and then I was like, I just need to eat something. So I just got some leftover fried rice from our fridge, and I was like, okay, I'll quickly eat this while I finish it. And I didn't realize that it was right there on the screen. Anyway, I'm just adding some alpha and number stickers to this little tag, which is going to hold my journaling, just to say that this is my top 10 of 2022, and then my journaling is going to be a little bit longer, in large discussing kind of what I have been talking about in this video. So that slides right in there, and I love how that looks. I'm adding a few little black stars and plus signs and little sprinkly bits to, I don't really know why. I just felt like it. I sometimes feel like these little like dotty dots and stars kind of adds a bit of whimsy to a layout and does make it look so formal, I guess, but that's just how my brain works. When I'm done with this, now in terms of the date, obviously there's not a specific date of this story. So I just decided to put down the date that I did this layout, because that's what I often do. If the story doesn't really have a date itself, other than like globally being like, this is a 2022 story, I would put down the date as the date that I created the layout. As you can see, I added a little black border. And once that date has been put down, which I'm thinking I'm just going to put it above that stack of book sticker. Let's see. Yep. So I'm going to add that one there. And once that's down, I am going to call this one done. Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I will see you all again next week for another layout. Bye.